I'm Michael Mangan of Mangan Logging. We run a family business here. My father started it back in the 60s. My father, Bert Mangan, came from Wyong to start logging in Oberon. Back in those days it was heavy manual work for the people. Not a very safe job for people, using chainsaws and lifting logs. Nowadays, machines have advanced. We've got a lot safer machines now. Machines that are a lot more productive and a lot more accurate in the measuring of the timber and taking the limbs off the trees. Back in 1961, probably about 20 tonne a day was the total number of timber that the blokes were doing. These days, depending on the size of the timber that the machines are in, they can produce anywhere from 30 tonne an hour up to 100 tonne an hour. There's a big improvement there. It's made it a good business now for the family to be involved in. The forwarders that we have these days bring out about 25-30 tonne a load to the side of the road to be loaded onto the trucks. Being a lot safer and a lot more productive, we can do anything up to 800 tonne a day. We work for Forest Corporation New South Wales. Some of the operations we do go straight to the sawmill, some of the timber, to be cut into building material. When we first started out, it was only a couple of trucks and a couple of machines. Now the operation has grown pretty big. This operation that we've been looking at is one of 12 operations in the Oberon area. We've got 11 harvesters operating, 13 forwarders, 3 loaders to load the trucks and 25 trucks that haul the timber. We also have a skidder that pulls the timber out of the bush when they're cut into full tree lengths. The harvesters are around 1.2. Forwarders, they're around the $600,000 mark. And the loaders are around 300,000.
My name's Darren. I drive a 855 E Tidecat with a Waratah 24C Waratah harvesting head. Waratah 624C, we got 3 sets of feed roller wheels, 4 motors that drive them wheels. They're to drive the tree through the harvesting head. Set of delimb knives, they will delimb the tree. 2 saws, 1 main saw, that's what we use mainly for falling and cutting the tree into saw logs. And we got a smaller saw, what we call top saw, and that's more for cutting the top out of the tree. We get a specification from forestry to the grades that we need to cut to. First up, what I do is look at the tree, pull the tree, I have a look along the tree, see what quality I've got to use, what log length. I'll hit the button. It'll automatically feed through to the target length. As we've got a measuring wheel, it's got an encoder in it that gives a signal to the computer that will tell me on the main screen inside that it's hit the target length, it's in the cut window. It's also got diameter, same thing, diameter encoder. So it'll give a little beep saying, yep, that log's right to cut. Then it'll just automatically select from there and select the other log length. And if I see if it's not the grade or the quality that the computer has selected, I can manually change that either with a pre-select or what we call length stepping. So once we get to the top of the tree towards the end, we sort of run into the lower grade wood, which is what we call pulp wood. We've actually got it also fitted with a topping saw, which we can just cut the top out. That tree process is finished. During that process, we have got paint marking on the machine that we can set up different diameters, different log lengths, however combination that you want to set it up. We've got 3 different colours that we can use. And you can set that up in the matrix, APT file matrix, so we really don't have to do any manual control there, that it's automatically done for us. The paint marking system works automatically with the machine, so when I get to the target length and the target diameter, the colours that we have selected will automatically paint the logs and grade them, so it makes it easy for picking up and grading and putting the logs out onto the stockpile. So just depending on the quality of the timber, you can harvest anywhere 500 to 700 trees a day.
My name's Marty. I work for Mangan Logging. My job's to drive the Komatsu forwarder. I've worked in the bush for 25 years. Most of the time has been with Mangan. My job's to follow Darren in the harvester. Darren, as you see, he processes the timber. Then it's my job to go in and forward it out to the road for it to be loaded onto the trucks. There's about 8 different sorts that we cut. It's my job to sort it out up here on the dump after Darren's cut it, which you do off the paint marking. When the logs are painted a certain colour, you put them in that pile. And then once they're piled up on the side of the road, it's the loader's job then to come and load them onto the trucks and send them into the mill. As you can see, 8-wheel drive, pretty much go anywhere. It's capable of carrying up to 30 tonne. You've got between 20 and 30 tonne on every load. We can put tracks on the front, normally just have them on the back, which allows us, with our 8-wheel drive, is what makes it possible to get in and out of the bush a lot of the time. The crane and that, it's all pretty much like an excavator if you ever drove one. It's all just done on mini controls. Could take anywhere from 6 to 12 months probably before someone's up producing the sort of timber that they want. They're quoted to bring so much out every day, so we've got to make sure we do that. Yes, these newer forwarders are a lot better than the old ones we used to drive. Just got a lot more safety things put on them. The stabilisers that holds the tray down and that for you, the bed. The older ones were a bit prone to tipping over, where now with these new ones you don't have to worry about that. They're all very, very stable. As long as you go straight up and down a hill, you shouldn't have any dramas. And they've improved the machines out of sight now. The operator comforts are pretty good really. You've got a fridge and an oven in them, so you can heat your lunch up each day when it's snowing out in the bush. You can have a nice hot lunch, so just little things like that.
I'm Leo Dwyer. I load logs for Mangan haulage. Darren's been harvesting the trees, Marty's been bringing them out, and my job is just to load them onto the trucks and send them to the mill. This is a Seni 245F with a grab on it, which is equivalent to probably a 23-tonne excavator. This is a relatively new machine that Mangans have purchased. The cab lifts up to 5.5 metres, so you can see the top of the loads on the truck, which makes it a lot easier to load. They've bought this one because so they can double row the logs and they can put it anywhere on the road, where previous apprentices on trucks and that, they're wheel machines, and they had to have wider dumps so that you could fit the trucks and the machine on it, where this one you can just sit on the bank or wherever and load the trucks. This machine is more efficient because the forwarders don't have to take it to a central place to load. They can just put it along the side of the road and you can get to it, and if there's no trucks here, they can actually double row it, so you can go back a bit and put on the trucks because they can still stay on the gravel, and it's just speeding things up because they're not travelling as far when they're with their logs on. When you're loading the trucks, you get the driver to stop in the right position, and then the loader has scales in them, but that's just to help the truck drivers. They've got scales in their trucks. The driver tells you the weight because it's very important about the weight because it's for the safety of the trucks and the road users, and the mill doesn't pay for excess wood, so it's very good that they can get the weight. The truck driver will just tell you to the nearest stick how much they need on there, and if you need to put 1 or 2 more logs to get their weight right, I'll put 1 or 2 sticks on just so the weight is right to go. It's just got to be spot on all the time. Then he'll tie it down and he'll take it to the mill.
My children in the business now, we've got Matthew, he looks after the logging side. Chris, he looks after the haulage side. And then we have Michelle, the chartered accountant, she looks after the office. And Lisa, she looks after the store and some of the IT stuff. In the last 6 months, Riley, Matthew's son, has just started working for the business. So that will be the 4th generation of children or people in the business. Hopefully, if everything keeps going all right, they'll be still here in another 60 years. The biggest challenge of running this operation is keeping everyone safe. Some of the places we go, they're not terribly safe places, but because of the machines they're in, it makes a big difference. The most satisfying thing is the fact that people don't get hurt, and we are able to satisfy the people we work for with their orders. For me, it's good that we've got our own family in the business, and it looks like it's going to continue on that way for a few years yet to come.